Tindakan Amerika Serikat memberikan veto dalam resolusi keanggotaan penuh Palestina di PBB mendapat kecaman dari Rusia. Wakil Rusia di PBB geram karena perwakilan Amerika Serikat memilih menggunakan veto dalam rapat Dewan Keamanan PBB di New York pada Kamis 18 April waktu setempat. Duta Besar Rusia untuk PBB, Vassily Nebenzia, menganggap aksi AS ini menunjukkan apa yang sebenarnya mereka pikirkan tentang Palestina. Nebenzia mengatakan Washington berpikir Palestina tidak pantas jadi negara sendiri. Lebih lanjut dikatakan Nebenzia, AS tutup mata dengan tragedi yang terjadi di Gaza dalam 6 bulan terakhir. Nebenzia berujar sikap AS bertujuan untuk mematahkan harapan rakyat Palestina dan memaksa mereka tunduk pada kekuasaan pendudukan. Hal ini yang kemudian lambat laun akan membuat rakyat Palestina keluar dari tanah air mereka di masa depan. Sementara itu Mesir menilai hal yang terjadi di DK PBB ini sebagai bentuk ketidakmampuan untuk mengakui Palestina sebagai anggota penuh. Kementerian Luar Negeri Mesir menilai keanggotaan penuh Palestina jadi langkah penting. Pencegahan ini pun dianggap tidak sejalan dengan tanggung jawab hukum dan sejarah komunitas internasional dalam menyelesaikan persoalan di Palestina. Dukungan terhadap Palestina sebelumnya juga sudah disampaikan oleh China. Menlu China Wang Yi dalam lawatan ke Indonesia Kamis 18 April menyatakan bahwa dirinya ikut merasa sakit hati atas bencana kemanusiaan di Gaza. Dikatakan olehnya, China secara tegas mendukung Palestina untuk menjadi anggota PBB dan mendorong two-state solution. Hal serupa juga dinyatakan oleh Menlu RI Retno Marsudi di kesempatan yang sama. Retno berujar Indonesia akan terus mendukung upaya Palestina menjadi anggota penuh PBB. Menurutnya, stabilitas di Timur Tengah tidak akan terwujud tanpa penyelesaian isu Palestina.
Madam President, this day may go down in history as a day when, after 3/4 of a century, the international community at last made the right choice on the path towards correcting the many years of historical injustice done to Palestine and the legitimate aspirations of its heroic people. Because it was a simple question: are the Palestinians worthy of being part of the global family, fully participating in all of the decisions of international life? And a question that we have constantly answered with consent. And when Israel was welcomed into the UN, and when dozens of states also released from the colonial yoke were welcomed into the UN. However, our American colleagues believe differently. Having for the 5th time since the beginning of the exacerbation in Gaza their veto, they have once again demonstrated what they really think of the Palestinians. For Washington, they do not deserve to have their own state. They are only a barrier on the path towards realizing the interests of Israel. For that reason, the United States is ready to the last to turn a blind eye to the crimes of Israel against the civilians in Gaza, not noting the illegal settlement building activity in West Jerusalem on the West Bank. The aim is to break the Palestinians' will, to force them once and for all to submit to the occupying power, to turn them into servants and second-class persons, and perhaps to once and for all force them out of their native territory. That policy is only having the opposite impact. At present, an absolute majority of the global community supports Palestine's application to become a full member of the World Organization. The suffering of Palestinian civilians is resounding in the hearts and minds of millions of people around the world. In countries that supply weapons to West Jerusalem, there are louder and louder voices calling for those supplies to be banned. Today's use of the veto by the US delegation is a hopeless attempt to stop the inevitable course of history. The results of the vote, where Washington was practically in complete isolation, speak for themselves. With the most playing into the hands of the most irrational actions by their ally and reluctant to find just solutions on the basis of the existing international legal basis, is a direct path to the further sliding into the mire of war which could encompass the entire region. If the United States and Israel benefit from this, then it will only be in the short term. At the same time, Washington will once and for all remove itself from the list of peace-loving and respected states, having fully shared responsibility with its Israeli allies for the deaths of tens of thousands of Palestinian civilians. And that is not worthy of a great power, and history will not forgive you for that. We call on the United States to listen to the voice of reason, to think about the consequences of their decisions, and to immediately join in the efforts of the other members of the Security Council to establish an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. Thank you.
I thank the representative of the Russian Federation.
Download Tribun X sekarang. Menghadirkan lokal menjadi Indonesia.